Hey guys, Sarah here. I just wanted to provide a really quick kind of initial thoughts about the mediation workshop that we just completed here at Tel Aviv University. As you know, I'm a part of the conflict resolution and mediation program. It's a Master of Arts. And every year, a part of that, the mediation part of that program is the mediation workshop, which is put on here, I will read you the specific thing. It says, it is put on by Tel Aviv University Graduate International Program under the auspices of the Bosserman Center of Conflict Resolutions, which is a United Nations Institute for Training and Research recognized training program. And so the head of the workshop was Dr. Brian Polkinghorn, I think I'm saying that right, from Salisbury University, which is where the Bosserman Center for Conflict Resolution is. And then we had 7 other instructors come in to help, and all of those instructors were conflict resolution program alums. And so that was really, really cool, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I just wanted to provide kind of my feedback. So this year the workshop was 6 days long. 4 of those days we did from 10:30 to 6, and then the other 2 days were from 11:30 until 6. And they were very long days. They were very intense, like emotionally and relationally, because I would say a solid 60 to 70% of the time was spent in active mediation role plays. And so the whole afternoon was spent running through in groups of about 5 or 6 people and running through 2 to 3 mediation scenarios. And these scenarios was really great because they were based on kind of real world cases, real life cases that the instructors themselves had worked on. And so, you know, they had been changed and altered a little bit to make it more appropriate for scenarios. But when you were finished, it was cool because you got to hear what the actual outcome of the mediation was from the people who were sitting in the room. And so that was a cool component, kind of really bringing it home to say, like, these mediations really do work, and the solutions that you're coming up with, even in the role plays, are usually have common elements with the solutions that were actually come up with in real world. So it's nice to kind of hear immediately that, oh, you're on the right track. This is not something that is, this is not something that only can be done by the super learned or the super experienced, because, kids with a couple days of training were able to kind of identify some of the same solutions. So that's really cool. Not to say we were any good at it, and not to say that the agreements that we came up with would have been lasting, but it's nice to kind of, in that sense, it's nice to hear that we were thinking along the same things. So that was the afternoons, which were really cool. But the mornings were spent very briefly going over some mediation theory. We were given different practical tools and checklists to prep and conduct mediations. And then every morning we would do like a little bit of that, a couple hours of classroom training, and then the afternoon would be scenarios designed to emphasize what we would learn in the morning. And so it kind of built on itself, which was really neat. I think what I liked most about it was, one, it was really practical kind of life skills, and this is what I came to this program for. And so that was pretty neat to kind of have that be the first time that we were able to kind of stretch some of those muscles and work some of those muscles in real world stuff. 2, I really liked how the instructors were program alums. It was the first time that I had had a chance to really talk to any program alum. And so to hear their thoughts about the program and how the program had helped them in their like next steps after they finished was really, really helpful for me. And so I really appreciated that. And I think third, for me, I loved getting the chance to kind of recognize the skills and the techniques that I was already using in my like work environment before I came to the program, but able to put names to it and able to be a bit more intentional about those skills moving forward. And so I think anybody can tell you that, you know, real world, you're using these types of skills. You're using reframing, you're using getting to the interests, but you just don't know what you're doing, basically, or you don't know why you're doing it, or you don't know why it works. You just know that it works, and so you're going to keep using these same type of tactics. And so it was cool to kind of recognize, oh, I already know some of these things, like I already do these things, but here's how you actually do it as a part of a strategic purpose and not just intuitively. And so that was really cool. I am definitely excited to use the skills kind of moving forward, whether that's formally as a mediator or just as a leader. I think these are skills that even every leader should be aware of and know, because a lot of your job as a leader, especially if you're not in a very strong command environment where you have absolute authority over your employees, I think this is really important to help kind of make sure you're hearing everything and getting to the root of the issue, and making sure that any agreements moving forward, you have your buy-in from your employees. So as a future leader and as a student, I really highly recommend the mediation workshop, even to the point where I'm like, I should probably come back next year just to take this workshop, just to kind of refresh the skills. Definitely heavy stuff. It was intensive, but I very much enjoyed it.